know that Blair Witch is not actually the first found footage movie?
No, of course. In
And
fact,
yeah.
I'm actually looking at two of them. The first one, I think it's called Green Holocaust.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Cannibal
You're
Holocaust.
You're mixing Cannibal Holocaust up with Green Inferno.
Green Inferno. Well, yeah, Cannibal Holocaust was half and half movie, half found footage. And then before that, or no, after that, Last
Broadcast.
But
have you seen that?
But that one I did see.
Okay.
But I think a lot of it is based on actually a 1930s radio broadcast with Orson Welles and War of the Worlds. The whole concept of people thinking this could be real,
Right.
really scary, off the cuff.
That's an interesting connection. Nobody ever makes that connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Now that
people
also
actually
was-
thought Martians were invading New Jersey. I don't know why.
Now, there actually were some exaggerations about the outcome of it. A lot of it was actually advertising for War of the Worlds. There were people reporting that people had panicked, and that was actually part of the... It went into the marketing
part of
for
it.
it.
Which
Wow.
unfortunately made more
Interesting.
people dumb and panic.
Right.
What is this whole toilet paper shortage now?
How do we get from War of the Worlds to toilet paper?
Coronavirus, the whole media roll.
No,
I know what you're getting.
People are going to the store and trying to buy toilet paper. It's not there. We actually bought some. Just
for
because
anyone
we were
watching
not
this,
being there when we
for
needed it.
anyone watching
You
this,
didn't let the two fly.
I love how this is just basically, let's set a camera up while we're sitting in Kevin's horror cave and talking and drinking.
And pulling up memes.
This
to
is
show.
really all it is. Chuck, have you seen the Last Broadcast?
Mm-mm.
Why don't we do a
Was
really
it
quick?
1980s?
Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's on Amazon Prime for free, so go check it out.
Here's your coronavirus one. I'm going to make millions. Say,
Make sure you
It's a-
find that.
yeah,
thing.
No one said coronavirus said anything about, crappy.
So let me
no,
ask you.
they're like my family. They're like, crap, there's no toilet paper in the store. Like, you go 3 times in a row to Wegmans. There's no toilet paper, there's no toilet paper, there's no toilet paper. So the next time you go, you're like, I'm buying toilet paper
There you
because
go.
in 2 weeks from now when I need it, it may not be here.
Side note, my wife had to buy Clorox wipes
Mhm.
off Amazon today.
Yep.
Because there's none left.
There's no left.
For real?
Yeah.
So, really quickly, Last Broadcast. This
Yes.
is like a totally random review. Last Broadcast. What do you think of that movie anyway?
Now, I actually liked it because, first of all, it was made very much on the cheap.
Sure.
And
War
it
Chief
was
Blair Witch.
a documentary with found footage in it.
Yes. Yes.
And a quick synopsis, by the way, it deals with I guess you'd say a host who was talking about the disappearance.
Well, they had a cable TV show.
Yes.
Oh, no. Sorry, you had the host who was the exterior narrative. Sorry. go
Yes.
ahead. Yes.
They were talking. It was a cable TV show group, 2 hosts, a crew member, and a psychic. He wasn't really a psychic, who went into the Jersey woods in search of the fabled Jersey Devil.
Yep.
And unfortunately, they didn't come back. And when searchers found out, they found 2 of them murdered,
Yep.
1 missing. The one
Yep.
who comes out who's just his mind's completely gone. He gets arrested for the murders and
Yep.
dies in prison. So this documentary is kind of following the whole situation. And yes, it is filmed with the the found footage
Yep.
situation. I actually kind of like the ending. Now, do you think we should say what it is, or should
It's
we?
interesting that you say you like the ending. I don't think we should say what the ending is. I disagree. The Last Broadcast, believe it or not, preceded Blair Witch.
Oh yes.
And in 8 Days in the Wood by Matt Blasey, he actually mentions this. There was actually a little bit of concern because the producers of Blair Witch and the producers of 8 Days in the Woods realized they were both, advancing this found footage idea. But they were a little concerned, and I think some people actually played up this animosity between the two, which actually didn't exist.
Yeah, that's
That never existed. And as it was, the stories were dissimilar enough. Also, too, when the Last Broadcast was released, nobody saw it.
Oh yeah.
Haxton Films lucked out, and that Artisan Films picked it up and gave it a broad distribution. So I actually liked the Last Broadcast until the ending, because without telling you the ending, here's the thing, and we're going to do a special edition of Into the Abyss on found footage, because it's been kind of my thing lately. With found footage, and I don't know if you want to chime in on this, Chuck. I don't know how many found footage films you've seen.
Blair Witch.
Yeah. The one thing that you always ask yourself, if you let yourself ask this, is you've seen enough found footage films, is you start asking yourself, why are they filming this right now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the more successfully a movie answers that question, the more that we engage that suspense of disbelief when we buy into it. Unfortunately for me, at the end of the last broadcast, you totally violate the rules of found footage, and it flips from being a found footage movie to a regular movie.
But that's the whole thing. There were no rules for found footage when the Last
This is true.
Broadcast-
This
Actually,
is true.
technically
This
another,
is true. It's a
another found footage
groundbreaking movie. Yes,
There's another
true.
found footage film I've seen, which would be Cloverfield, which played off as is a high budget, honestly,
Right.
Oh,
found
yeah.
footage. You do get that. It's kind of like the idea of writing where you do like the person's journal, and then there's that journal entry at the end where it's just like, they've thrown me overboard the ship, I'm falling over the ship, I'm falling into the water. Like, you can't write it. So
Right.
and,
Yeah.
and it's
yeah.
hard to get that proper ending if the person's trying to look at it retroactively, or if they're in immediate peril. You put the camera down.
Yep.
And you can only put the camera down for so much, or you can only stop journal entries for so long. Actually, I'm trying to think of the book. It's the one with the Arctic expedition, and they it was based on a real story where they vanished.
Something Terror?
Yeah, the Terror. The Terror.
By Dan
did it.
Simmons.
Yes, Dan Simmons did it. And it's a series. There's a lot of journal entries and things that are in there, and you get to people that are coming up to the moment of their death, and it does stretch belief, because at some point you just survive and you stop writing, you stop filming, and it breaks the suspension of disbelief. It's a hard thing to pull off. That's the hardest thing, I think, is
Right.
the ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny thing you brought that up, because this was on Netflix for so long, and I went to go see if it was still on there, because it's the same company that did the Golem. Unfortunately, it's not on there anymore. Jerusalem, and the S with a Z instead.
Oh,
Now,
I
that is found
see that.
footage, but in order to make it sound better, because you're absolutely right about the whole, put the damn camera down, you idiot, you're being chased by a monster. The character who is filming it is wearing a pair of Google glasses.
Mhm.
And now I understand you have to suspend disbelief, because they only record like half an hour and they get super hot after that time, but that makes a lot more sense if that works.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah,
So
this is-
that might be a way of saving the found footage
Yeah.
thing, because
Yeah.
you're absolutely right, especially about, I liked Cloverfield, but the
was
whole,
fun. It was fun.
I'm carrying the camera running and, oh my god, she is super hurt. Guys, you see this person hurt? I'm not going to help you lift them up or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, as hipsters getting eaten by a giant monster, I mean, it's a good time. It's a fun movie.